I can use others. Only 95 students. I don't know why. Okay, so we were talking about the livestock industries. So especially the cattle beef industry, goat, sheep, and other poultry industry. I will do later. So for the time being, so I'm doing this beef industry. So it's going to finish, I think. Anyway, here we have a very poor coverage because it's raining here. I don't know how long I could take. Anyway, I'll do until disruption. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will go, but just let me know which slide. Okay, where I stopped.
Slide. 11th slide we finished.
11th slide. Okay. Okay, thank you. So what happens to this beef industry in Sri Lanka as we don't have a proper beef industry, facing many problems because the people are eating. However, the people are eating, but because of our policies and government regulations, we don't have a beef industry or a cattle farm for beef production. We don't have anything like that. But every day they are slaughtering. So if you go slaughterhouse, more cattle are being slaughtered. So, but what happens to this? Just farmer is having the cattle. Usually they are our indigenous people. Whatever they have surplus. Usually the surplus. And usually the farmers, when they're having animals, they're selling to the slaughterhouse, the beef production. Usually the animals are poor nutrition, malnutrition. So if you see, if you maybe in second year, I'll be taking the second semester, I'm taking you to slaughterhouse. So there you could see the animals to be slaughtered are very poor growth, very poor growth and very malnutrition sort of. They are not good animals, not good in the sense they seems not very thin, emaciated, under nutrition, like because they are not feeding well. Usually the surplus animal or animal which is not used for the production, not getting milk or not breeding. So male animal are slaughtered. So that's a problem here. So it's sort of I don't know how to say, but the demand is increasing. Okay. The beef meat is the cheapest meat available in the market in Sri Lanka. There is an increase in trend among the people to consume beef. This may lead to higher demand for beef production in future. So that's what I'm telling again. So it's therefore recommended that the following measures be taken to increase the beef production while preventing the depletion of national herd and slaughter of breedable females and young calves, which may affect the beef and the dairy industry in future. So that's what I'm telling. So this kind of problem is there in Sri Lanka. We don't have a cattle breed for beef production, but the demand is increasing. Breeding up local herds in the dairy zones, usually it's tucks of dual purpose. Breeds like Sindhi, Sahiwal, and Thapaka, draft breeds such as Kangayam, Kilari, some other breeds. So these breeds, okay. Grading up, improving those breeds. You know what the meaning of improving? Improving in the sense, in our country, our national breed, indigenous cattle breed, you would have seen they don't have milk production, maybe 2 liters, less than 2 liters. I don't know. It's something like that. Not big animal, very small animal. Very poor body condition. That's our indigenous breed. But now you see everywhere the farmer improved breed. Improved means like Frisian crosses. Usually we have the crosses, not the pure animal, because pure animal it's not suitable to our country. But if it is from India, we can have the pure breed like Sahiwal. We can have pure. However, the Sahiwal also what we have in Sri Lanka is cross. So they are importing from animals from other countries, whether temperate countries. For example, they're getting from New Zealand is AMZ, okay, or Frisian, whatever. So what will they do? Just to, so we can't keep in up country, we can keep that animal, okay, wet zone up country. We can keep, but that is also a lot of problem. So importing animals from other country is sort of having a lot of issues and problem. Anyway, time to time importing, but they are like upgrading. Upgrading in the sense they're getting genetic material through Frisian, Asia or Guasi, getting the Frisian and they're making like mixing with our breed or maybe the Sahiwal breed and getting a crossbreed. Okay, crossbreed which is more related to have in our country, but with the characters of high production. So if you take Frisian, it gives at least 10-12 liters per day. More than that, if you have a good management and a good housing, everything you give optimum, you get around 20 liters per day. But usually in Sri Lanka, from a Frisian, it's around 10 to 12 they are getting with an upgraded one. Upgrade in the sense you are making the animal well suitable to our country climate. Okay, so you mixed with the breed or whatever breed, maybe Sahiwal, and you get a crossbred animal, okay, which is having the characters milk production as well as to survive in our tropical climate. You know our climate, okay, which is very hot. Okay, so these animals cannot tolerate hot tropical, so we have to upgrade. So those kind of thing we can do. Calf mortality should be minimized through extensive calf rearing and half health schemes. The problem in our country, in whatever, the problem is calf mortality. You know, mortality means death. Okay, death of the calf is a problem soon after birth. We have to give proper care. Okay, you study those things, how you're managing. Okay, management of animal, whether ruminants or non-ruminants management. If it is ruminants, the ruminant management you manage from the beginning, the birth till they give till the end. So that management is stage by stage, it's different. So calf management is very important because of this calf death rate. Mortality is the death rate. So to minimize that, you have to have a good plan, good management system. So usually these calves soon after birth have to give a proper housing. Okay, the housing should be properly designed. So if it is in wet zone of country, you have to have a very closed houses because they cannot tolerate this wet climate, very cool climate. So they may be affected with sort of diseases like pneumonia, jointitis. So there is a lot of disease affecting the calf. So if it is in our part like dry zone, we should have some half wall houses, not fully, because our climate is hot when you have a fully covered wall, so it's difficult for the animals to survive. We have some semi half wall houses, properly ventilated ventilation, you know, the proper ventilation in the sense you're getting good air. So that should be here in our part. So these things you have to care. Not only that, there are numerous things you have to care when you're doing this calf management. So if you're not managing, this kind of death is higher. But when you have these indigenous breed, they are resistant. They try to tolerate the climate here in our country. But if you have these improved breeds, cross breeds, so there's a problem. Very, very essential care you have to keep at birth and the calf management. Otherwise, the animal may die. So disease control, that's again another problem in animals, the disease control problem. Suddenly they are getting the diseases and it's affecting many animals in a herd and you get a depletion, death. So, and before you diagnose and you get a proper treatment, you get a lot of animals dead, you see. So that's a problem. Then a disease control program. So there are programs Well, it depends, okay? Whatever prevalent disease, prevalent, the common diseases. So that's also vary from country to country. Europe, if you get kind of some other disease, in Australia another disease, in our country little different disease. India somewhat similar, but could be another disease. So whatever the disease, so we have to control program. Maybe vaccinate after birth. So when a baby is born after birth, so many vaccines it's getting. So likewise, you have to give vaccine for the calf fever after birth, depend on the country and the disease control program. So the disease. So in order to prevent and control infectious disease outbreak, so that could be result in severe economic loss. So that's what I told. If you're not having a proper, whether it's a calf or even the adult animal, the problem is disease. Even the adult animal, yearly you may have to take vaccination for the cattle, especially the foot and mouth disease, twice a year. There's a disease, foot and mouth disease, like having the hoof and the mouth. So if you are not caring the animal would die, and milk production definitely goes down once the animal is affected. It's a virus disease. So that's again a problem, and it's causing a severe economic loss to the farm. So that's what have to have a control program. Steps should be taken to enforce the law and the regulations to prevent illicit slaughter of females of any young calves. So that's the problem. So I told so these things I'm telling her. So here in Sri Lanka, the loving female, but vegetarian sugar animal is not for production. Then it's not. You cannot disease animal, cannot disease animal. Some animal is having reproductive disorders, which I mean, it's not like problem. It's not like disease, but some defects in their reproductive system, kind of female or male even. Usually the female you can slaughter. Young calves should slaughter. So if they have any problem, you cannot slaughter. But female so I will take anyway. Okay, give me 1 minute. I couldn't share because somebody is host. I don't know. Share. So, steps should be taken to promote, to enforce the law and regulation to prevent. So that's what I told. So other than that, you can increase the other animal, promote these other animals like goat or sheep industry in our country, swine. So that's again gaining popular. Rabbit industry and the broiler industry, those poultry rearing. Even the poultry, there are different varieties like quail production is very common, and the quail meat is very popular and it's nutritious, it's found. So instead of these birds, quail, some other birds, okay, turkey. So these animals are very popular in other countries. The birds are popular. We can promote because those meats are very good, it seems. So the goat industry. Next one is the goat. So far we learned about this cattle, beef cattle, dairy cattle, but now it's a goat industry. Goat population in Sri Lanka comprises mainly the local breed, so that has a very low meat production potential, low birth weight, low growth rate, and low mature weight. And some grades of Jamunapari and Thana in China. So hope you study this goat breed. So you know our indigenous breed. So we have an indigenous breed which is very giving good action or even getting body weight, birth weight, and so on. The birth weight is very low, growth rate is low. Okay, so because of those problems, the goat one is not getting a good one. But when you have some improved breeds, from India, San, so this breed is having good quality. Sanan is producing a good milk. It gives, maybe more than 2 liters, around 2 liters. I can't remember exactly how it is. So this, that's a breed. So I ask about the milk production from Sanan from you. Anybody knows milk production, because that is a dairy breed, dairy goat breed. It's for the its animal is like it's purely white and so on. So may I know can anybody tell the milk production from Sanan? Hmm? Hmm? May I know the milk production? Yeah, somebody is telling the sound is breaking. Yeah, because we have it's raining here. So there's a problem. I'll stop it earlier because we have sort of a problem in this coverage here, signal problem, because it's heavily raining. In my part, it's raining, so it's poor coverage. Okay, so you find out this milk production from Sanan. So, but this Jamunapari is a dual purpose breed. Okay, you can use whether for meat production or milk production. The goat meat usually, in Sri Lanka, it's not that much popular like other country. But Sri Lanka, yes, that's good. I found something around 2.5 to 3 liters per day from sun. Yes, it's around something like that. But Yamunapari, thank you. Yamunapari, it's from India. It's a dual purpose breed. Okay, dual purpose breed. Sanan is a uh, dairy purpose breed. Yeah, that's good. High temperate, tropical is around 12 per rate. When we compare with the Sanan milk production, it's little low. It's low, but meat production is good. But in our country, we have this goat breed. It's not popular for this. Goat milk is very good. So we can write an article. We can like argue what is that cattle milk, but it's not popular in our country because of the order. Somewhat order. It's not very popular in our country. People doesn't like to consume the goat milk. But in India, if you say that's what I know. I was there in India, so that's what I couldn't remember. I know. So the people in India they like goat meat lot, goat milk lot. In our country, it has having got a lot of medicinal purpose. I mean, the medicinal value is high in goat milk rather than cattle milk. Okay, sometimes the people sometimes they could tolerate the cattle milk. Milk allergy is there, lactose allergy. Some people are having. Even I couldn't drink more milk. I can drink very limited. So if I drink every day, I have problems. So that's a milk allergy problem in adults, even the infant. So for them, this goat milk is high. I mean, good. Even I don't like to drink goat milk because maybe we used to that, but it is having a good with the and get because sanan is a temporary we have in our farm we have the sanan cross one. Okay, we have sanan, we have yamuna, so you don't have a chance to visit in our farm.